In the last Bloxburg Valentine's Day update, they introduced a bunch of new items. So in today's video, I want to build a Bloxburg house, but I have to use every single Valentine's item in the game. But first, really quickly before I start talking about the build, it is not Valentine's Day. It is actually the 16th of February as I film this, and it'll probably be the 17th by the time I actually post it. In my defense, I filmed this really quickly after the update came out, but I then decided to get really ill and I couldn't speak. So trust me, if I had filmed this and edited it earlier, I would have actually sounded like a wreck, and no one wants to hear that. Anyway, let me talk about the build. So my idea with this at first was to make like a big mansion because a lot of the new furniture items are very fancy, but when it got time to it, I just really didn't want to build a big house. And also, even though there is a bunch of new items, in a way there just isn't enough of them to build a huge house without having to rely on a bunch of other items, and I feel like the impact of it is less. So I actually ended up building a smaller house. It isn't like tiny, it's 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, has a kitchen, a living room. Like, it's quite a nice size, but it is very much not a big fat mansion that I wanted to build in the first place. So anyway, I ended up going for a smaller house, but I did want it to have some cliffs behind it, as I feel like on its own a small house just looks kind of pathetic on a plot. So having like large hills or cliffs behind it, I feel like add a lot. Also, obviously, because it is Valentine's Day and a lot of the new items are very Valentine's themed, I wanted the house to be very pink, very red, white, like very Valentine's colors. And I don't know if any of you have ever watched me build anything before, but that is very much not my vibe. I normally very much like browns, greens, like earthy colors, and I do still use a lot of browns and greens because of the plants and stuff like that, but using pink was quite a fun challenge, and I kind of want to do more builds using like weird colors, or not like weird colors, but different colors. Like building a red house or a yellow house would be like a fun video. And thinking about it now, I actually could do that for like Pride in like June, doing like a house for different colors of the rainbow. Like, that could be a cool video. But anyway, enough of that. I also wanted to talk about Bloxburg's Valentine's update as a whole. Over on my TikTok at Stanisaur, if any of you don't already follow it, I used to do videos for every update, and I still do them sometimes. Like, I did one for New Year's, but I feel like just for me, those videos are kind of boring. Like, at the end of the day, by the time I filmed and edited and got the video out, like, you already know the update's out, so what's the point of it? And especially when it comes to Bloxburg updates, I absolutely love them. Any new content for the game, I'll take and I'll enjoy it. But for Valentine's, like, obviously the new stuff was added, like the furniture and stuff like that, but because there was no event, no new building or anything like that, I just feel like a video on just new items is kind of boring. And honestly, not to be controversial, I don't even know if it is controversial, but I feel like the Bloxburg update just is kind of boring. Like, yeah, new furniture, new items, like, it's fun, and like, I'm never going to complain about having new stuff in the game. But when you contrast it to other games, like, I don't know, I don't want to compare Bloxburg to Dress to Impress all the time, but like, Dress to Impress, their Valentine's update is like huge. Like, they had to do it over 2 weeks, and like, they had a whole quest and a bunch of new things, and it's like, and I know Bloxburg have a bunch of new things coming. Like, I know they have the map revamp, a school, like, all of those things are coming, but I just feel like we're in such a dry patch where there isn't anything big coming to the game or big changes. And that's why I think like the game literally just updated, and like the other day there were like 7,000 people online, and obviously 7,000 is a lot, but when the game used to have like 100,000 people playing it at one time, like now, even after big updates, like even like Christmas update, I think like we reached like 80,000. And now the Bloxburg is free, especially like other games like Dress to Impress reach what, like 2 million players nearly they had. Like, I don't know, Brookhaven, I don't really know what that game even is, but that game has millions of people playing it at the same time. And there is just that something missing with Bloxburg that doesn't make it have that many players anymore. And whether that is just people not knowing about the game, or like it not having enough role-playing features and stuff like that, because the game right now is so focused on building and players building, it is like kind of cutting out a huge majority of people who play the game because there's not much to do. And I think this is why, as well as like the player count in Bloxburg dropping, I think this is also why people who watch Bloxburg videos, and like why people even making videos about Bloxburg kind of start slowly making less and less, is because like even like build challenges and building videos is mainly what people make on Bloxburg. There's only so many things you can build. Like, realistically, if I wanted to build like my left shoe in Bloxburg, someone's probably already done it. And I think it's got to a point where it's kind of oversaturated, that there's like no new ideas, which is why the game needs to come out with new things so people can get new ideas. Like with the school that's coming, like I know it's confirmed and I don't want to complain about something that isn't out yet, but like the school is coming, and that will increase so many role players, like role playing videos, which I know like so many people like, or even like I know there'll be a bunch of new items to build your own schools and like stuff like that. It will give so much more content for people who want to make videos, people who want to watch them, people who want to watch videos and then play the game. And I feel like that's desperately what the game needs right now. Like, even, and I don't want Bloxburg just to copy Dress to Impress. Obviously Dress to Impress is its own game, they're very different, but like Dress to Impress coming out with a new game mode, I think they delayed it or something, but the new game mode like gives, like, if people are oversaturated with the normal game or free play and stuff, there's now a new thing to do. And I feel like Bloxburg needs like that new thing. I don't know what it would be, but like I don't know, I'm not a developer, I don't know, but like something new that people could do that isn't building, and like maybe it isn't even role-playing, there's something else. And I think they have tried this with, obviously they had those mini games for Christmas, but I think the issue with those mini games is like the only rewards from them were items, and I feel like people don't want to build that much anymore. Like they still do, but like you've got a house now, like what else is there to do? You know what I mean? And those mini games in themselves, yeah, they were fun for like 3 minutes, but like realistically, I don't want to carve the ice blocks anymore. And I think my favorite thing Bloxburg have ever done in like recent history was last year with their Halloween quest. I feel like quest is such a good way to make people like invested in a game. Having lore in a game, like I keep doing it with Dress and Press, but like Dress and Press having lore is one of my favorite things about the game, and I know that's loads of people's favorite thing about that game. Having the whole Lena nail salon, and it's like creepy, but it's like cool and interesting, and having that lore, like people know the nurse, people know players in the like story. Bloxburg coming out with some sort of Susan storyline, or like maybe Tom, like that sort of thing would be so interesting. And like I'm saying, with the Sabrina quest that they came out, like people loved that. I know I especially loved that. My only slightly kind of issue with it was that it changed every day, like there was an update to it every day. I know it's kind of like the elf hunt and things, but I would rather if they just gave us like a 2-hour long quest we could do at once. Like even if I did like half an hour that day, half an hour another day, do you know what I mean? Like having the chapters or that sort of thing. But I think during that time, like Bloxburg had so many people playing because it was like every day there was a new thing to do. Like it's just like a cool way of doing it. And I know they do that with the elf hunt every year, but I feel like the elf hunt at this point is kind of repetitive. Next year it could be cool with a new map, but realistically, like even me, I only did it right at the end just so I could get the trophy to add to my collection of trophies. But like getting a cookie, or like it was a sled at one point and all that stuff, like giving it to an elf, getting 2,000 cash, like 2,000 cash like isn't enough to warrant doing all of that work. And I think having like the advent calendar that Dress and Press had, like maybe you give the elf a cookie and then you get like a new Santa sleigh, or like that sort of thing. Like having a like physical reward that isn't just tickets or cash. Don't even get me started on the tickets. Oh my god, the tickets, like I'm glad that people hated them as much as I did. I honestly hope they don't bring them back. I think they will, but I just feel like the ticket system just doesn't work at this point in Bloxburg's history. Like the game's been around what, like 14 years or something, maybe not that long actually, but the game's been around for ages. Like adding like a new system of currency and stuff now, I think it's just too late. Like people have the Christmas items, like why are they now tickets? I don't know. I think it just didn't make too much sense for the game, and I hope Bloxburg kind of steers away from that sort of update. Anyway, it's actually now been 7 minutes. I have no idea how, but the build is basically done by now, and I hope somehow you enjoyed me yapping, who knows. But anyway, here is the final build. Let's go take a look. And that is the final build. Honestly, I think it looks really good and I'm really proud of it. I'm sorry for being a bit sidetracked and ranting for about 7 minutes, but whatever, I'm gonna leave it in. I think it was kind of interesting to talk about. And yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts on this build. If you want to see me build more, subscribe, like, do all that rubbish. And yeah, thanks for watching. And I promise next time I'll talk maybe a bit more about the build and not just random rubbish.